The Ask Me Anything podcast. We are just gonna ask anything. Anything. Oh, it's live. It's live. It is. We're finally learning how to be live. So, team, are you guys gonna tell me the questions, or how do I know what the heck is going on? Are we also live on LinkedIn? We're not gonna go live on LinkedIn on the during the what? Oh, but we are supposed to be live on and we're just waiting. Gotcha. We are gonna make this work. It's probably me. That person left. It was me, probably. Yeah. All right, Marty. I said we do it. Let's just do our one-on-one right now. Let's just talk. Like, how's your life, Marty? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching a replay here because we're just doing this, we are essentially did this as a test. Next week we will actually have some guests here today. We're gonna have Mr. Adam Broda and Reno Perry. We're launching a new podcast called the Career Coaches Podcast. And just to give you guys a little inside peek of what we're building is we want to build a podcast for career coaches on how to grow the business, right? How to be a good marketers, good salespeople, good client success department, right? How to get referrals, how to use technology, all of everything that you need to build a scalable, profitable, and impactful career coaching business. And so the first week of the month, we're gonna actually always talk about industry trends, like what we're seeing in the job market, what we're seeing, best practices. We're always gonna have Adam and Reno Perry be our special guests for the week. The second week of the month, we'll either have a solo episode talking about a particular topic, or we will have a very successful career coach talking about how they've been able to build their business so that you can learn from there. Because the best way to reach any goal is to learn from someone who's done it. The third week is going to be about AI and technology. So we're going to bring in my business partners and SaaS product for career coaches. And we're going to be talking about how career coaches are using technology, AI, and technology to grow and scale their career coaching business without impacting client success. And then the fourth week, we're going to be focusing on, we're going to have another either solo episode or interviewing another career coach that's going to talk about it, how, like, whatever they do. Maybe we bring in I've had Austin Belsick before in my podcast. Maybe we bring him and we talk about how he's been able to grow and scale his career coaching business, and so on. So hope you enjoy it. We're gonna try to make this podcast live. So every Tuesday you can expect us to go live. So if you want to be able to ask questions or see the podcast live, this is going to be the time and place for you to do so. So super excited about that as we kind of keep going. And yeah, so today was more of one of those things of like, let's just go live and fail in public. And so you are seeing this, and um, as we're doing this, I actually want to share something that's really funny. if you're watching this and you're like, man, what, they don't like what's going on right now. Um, it, I essentially want to tell you guys we're doing this early just to make sure that we're all the tech is working, everything's working more than anything. So we just say, hey, let's do an ask me anything. Um, and one of the things is I used to think that things needed to be figured out 100% before we did something. And what's really interesting is even the biggest players, even the biggest companies put out things and fail in public. And I'll give you guys an example. I last year, maybe 2 years ago, actually invested on working with Alex Ramosi and their team. And I thought that Alex had everything figured out. Like he is so good at business. He has such a good team. He does $100 million. Probably he's worth billions of dollars plus now. And I joined his mentoring program. And I'm telling you, I don't think his program was all built out as he expected, and they've made changes. And I've seen them; they've announced that they're going to do something, and then next time I go to Vegas to work with his team, they'll like announce and make changes right away. And it's like what's interesting is like if he doesn't have figured out, if they're building the plane as they fly it, why do I feel like I need to have it all figured out? Why do I have to put the pressure on my team to have it all figured out? So today, this is what we're doing. We are essentially saying we're going to create a new podcast. And we're going to go and talk about career coaching and the business of career coaching in particular. And we're here, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna be 80% of the way there. It's gonna look good. It's gonna be great, and doesn't need to be perfect. So we are here. I actually wanted to even understand what a career coach even is. So what to me, what's up, Stan Miller in the house? Stan, where are you? Are you in Orlando? Let's grab lunch soon, my friend. Um, miss you, miss you, miss you. I think for me though, career coaching, this is really interesting. Actually, we'll go into a little tangent here as I go here. If you are an ICF certified coach, then your definition of career coaching is a coach should go into a coaching call with a client and ask questions so you can let their clients get to that solution. So you're more like a therapist, you're asking questions, and your job is not to answer. I would actually say that more than anything, I am not a career coach, except that's just how it's known. I think what I do and what I see that our clients do are more of career consultants, right? And the difference of career coach and a career consultant is that a career consultant will actually tell the client what to do. Like you should network this way, you should apply this way, you should prepare for interviews this way. And it's not so much about clarity. I do think that career coaching itself, like ICF will describe it, it works really well once they have the job. But if you are looking to make a very clear transition to, pivot your career or change or get promoted or things like that, I think a career consultant is probably a better way. But ultimately, the easiest way to describe what a career coach is, or in my definition, is they are your agent. They are your consultant. They're the ones helping you how to strategize, how to implement systems and processes, help you understand what input is required to generate the right output. So I'll give you guys an example that I used to work when I was coaching international students. I would have them follow the 10-5-1 rule. And the 10-5-1 rule is that I wanted them to apply. So these are seniors looking to get a job before they graduate. And they usually have at least 1 to 2 semesters before graduation. And what we would do in that scenario is we will have them apply to 10 quality applications a week. I want them to network with at least 5 people per company, meaning that they're going to be networking with 50 people per week, 10 companies times 5 people. And if you're following the networking strategy that we had in our program, that usually led to, out of the 5 people that they reached out to, about 2 coffee chats or 2 networking calls. And out of those 2 networking calls, that should lead to 1 referral or 1 interview. So if you follow this system, we had an application to interview rate of at least 10%. So if you follow this system, 10 applications equals 50 conversations. Out of those 50 messages, outbound messages to network. Out of those 50, you're going to get about, 3 to probably like 5 to 10 conversations, which will lead to about one to 2 interviews. And that should, if you do that for about 12 weeks, not even 12 weeks, if you literally do that for 8 weeks, you will get one about an average of 1 to 2 interviews per week, and that will lead to getting you an offer before 90 days. So that was again, that was essentially like the platform or the systems or the process that we would follow 10-5-1. And that would say that's what a career coach does, is it helping you implement a strategy and then systemize that strategy in a way that you understand what input is required to get the desired output. And that is career coaching. Yeah, career coaching, at least career consulting. It's what I would do. Yeah. Submit, what's going on? What is cooking in the business today? 2026 is fantastic year so far. What's cooking is that we are ramping up our content game. So we are now reamping the LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, so reamping the YouTube channel. We're creating a brand new podcast for career coaches on the business, on the building of business of career coaching. And we started really running more Instagram and more behind the scenes. So if you want to see more behind the scenes on the day-to-day of building the business, I literally have my phone here recording this as well. So yeah, that's what's cooking. A lot more marketing from my team and I. And yeah, that's probably the biggest changes that are happening in Q1, Q2 for me and Opni in 2026. 2026. What is new with you? What's going on with you? What are you trying to accomplish this year? Building focus time. Thanks for sharing. So a career coach is more for someone that's what? Okay. Where is the question? So, how is career coaching different from a business coach and an executive coach? I think that for career coaching, it's specifically, I would say, your business coach. If you are a business and you're working in corporate America and you see yourself as a business, as a CEO of your career, a career coach will help you navigate working for somebody else, either corporate America or even working for a small to medium sized company. So help you navigate your career. A business coach, right, is essentially going to help you grow your business, right? So it's more for solopreneurs or entrepreneurs or even companies. And it's the same, but for in a bigger scale. You're now doing it in a business level. And an executive coach is more about helping you build the skills you need to get to the next level or create bigger impact. So executive coaches will help you be a better leader, be a better manager, help you get execution right, help you build culture. So the executive coaches are going to be more about helping you manage a situation, and career coaches will help you get promoted, and then business coaches are going to be helping you more grow your business. So yeah, good questions. Keep asking questions. So how can you become a career coach? So the career coaching industry is not regulated to the same way that is, like, let's say you wanted to be a therapist, that you have to actually go through some regulations. So that's a good thing and there's a bad thing. So to be a career coach, you can literally just call yourself a career coach. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be a good career coach. So if you wanted to, the idea is that I would suggest you coaching people at part of your career that you've already done. So the reason why I worked with a lot of college students is because I couldn't tell somebody, hey, I'm going to help you become a director or vice president, because I was never a director or vice president. So I don't have lived experience on how to do that, or like personally mentor people to do that at that point, which is why I personally focus on helping college students, because I graduated college with like over 6 job offers, probably like even more than that. And so I felt very comfortable. I knew how to do that. And I had mentor people to get jobs at some of the biggest companies. And so I felt very comfortable at charging something that I knew I could do. I didn't have to get a certification. Now, if you are someone that wants to get a certification, ICF, there's other companies, other certifications that you can get, but it's not, you don't need a certification. In fact, if you have more than 10 years of corporate experience and you've managed people and you mentor people and you've done performance reviews and you've been a hiring manager or in the HR world or a recruiter, and you know how the hiring process works, then I would say that's probably even more valuable than an ICF certification. And the best way I can explain that to you guys is like, I did a lot of like college hires, right? And I valued more internships than I valued a 4-year degree. And I value more work experience than I did somebody going and being able to read a textbook and passing a test. And so it's the same thing. What job seekers that are hiring career coaches are looking to do is they're hiring someone they feel confident in their ability to help them get that job, right? And so all that to say is you could probably be a career coach now. It just depends on who your niche is and who you're going to be able to serve. To say I'm going to be a career coach and help people become CEOs at a Fortune 500 company, that's very, very difficult, and it wouldn't be where I would suggest you start. So yeah, I'm looking to find an entry level to junior development role remote with an on-site hybrid close to Cincinnati. So Basu, there's tons of career coaches that do that. What I'll be, if you're interested in working with a really good career coach, send me a DM and I will refer you to some of the coaches that I work with, is specializing in entry level junior roles and even remote jobs. Those are two different career coaches that specializes into that, but we can definitely make that connection there as well. And then how do you become a business? Like, so there's a follow-up question for about business coach. So like, how do you become a business coach? So I would tell you again, for business coaching, you could just call yourself a business coach. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a good business coach right away. For me, so I kind of was tracking a lot of data. I'll tell you guys a little bit of my story if you guys didn't know this. So I worked with college students. Then I started working with minority and first generation students. Then I started working with international STEM students, and we did that for the longest time. That niche was like really great, and we have a lot of success stories. We track a lot of client success data, and we started seeing the writing on the wall that it was becoming more and more difficult for international STEM students to get jobs in the United States of America, right? And without getting into politics, we just knew that it would be very, like, elections were coming. The country was very divided on immigration. We know that we probably needed to make a pivot to somebody else, because like what happened right now, like it happened a couple months ago, the president said, hey, all new H-1B visas, companies need to pay $100,000. It used to be a couple of $1,000s. So that right there would have just killed my business, in which we were doing over $1 million a year in sales. It would have killed my business. It would have affected my staff. And I had a money back guarantee, which will make me bankrupt. But because we were able to track client success data, we were able to see the trend and we were able to make the pivot. Now, that's a decision that I had thought a lot about. It's like, should I just become a career coach for another niche, for another demographic? And for me, I believe that the best way to reach any goal is to learn from someone who's done it. And because I had already left corporate and I was a manager, not a director, not a vice president, none of that, I didn't feel like I can go make another pivot to, let's say, help senior IT professionals get promoted, right? I didn't feel like I had the brand or the know-how or the conviction more than anything to be able to do this. But at that time, I had already interviewed over 300 career coaches for the How to Get a Job podcast. And I realized that 90+% of the career coaches struggle to make over $10,000 a month. And therefore, 1 or 2 years later, after going into their business or even doing it as a side hustle, will eventually quit because the opportunity cost, because they're successful in their career, which is why they wanted to be career coaches. The opportunity cost was costing them so much that they went back to corporate. And that broke my heart. And so if you were to go to my podcast and listen to the first 100 episodes, and you were to search those people's LinkedIn, which it's on the show notes, you will see most of those coaches are no longer coaches anymore, are back in corporate America. And that broke my heart. And that's kind of when I realized. They were like, hey, how are you doing today? And I'm like, yeah, I just got 8 clients. They're like, oh, this month? And I'm like, no, this week. That most coaches didn't have the processes and the systems, marketing, the know-how, the sales, and even how to build a scalable product. And I had figured that out through a lot of trial and error, because I couldn't tell you that I just came into this industry knowing everything. A lot of trial and error. And that led to me saying, does my systems and processes to marketing, getting lead gens, sales, and client success work for other niches within the career coaching space. So we started taking on three beta clients, and then three beta clients, and getting beta clients and coaching them while still just focusing on international students. And what we found is that, yeah, like 85-90% of what I was doing for my business, you can literally copy and paste it and put it in another career coach's business, and they would get very similar results and traction because we knew what input required what output, right? So that's when I was like, hey, like why don't I just help? Like I can't, I right now don't feel like I can go and be the right career coach for a million people. But what if I help 1,000 career coaches help 1,000 people? I can still generate the same effect. And that was like the ripple effect that was created. And so we then moved from career coaching to business coaching. And I think I was able to do that with conviction because I had built a successful business, hired a team, created a culture, create systems and processes. We had a really good, we have a good team. The team's still here. Like, and so we were able to make that pivot. Was it smooth? No. Like for me to make that pivot, I would tell you guys about 2.5, 3 years ago, we stopped selling international students from one day to another, right? Because we didn't feel like I don't want to sell something that I don't have conviction that I can deliver. And we had all this, like we had over $40,000 worth of payroll and expenses in my business. And I felt a lot of pressure. I took out a loan from Stripe because Stripe was like, hey, you can borrow up to this much because of the income that you're generating. And so Stripe essentially lets you borrow. I think for me, let me borrow what I generally generate in Stripe in a month, and I was able to take out a loan of for $87,000, and then use that as a buffer to make the transition, knowing that I was losing money for a couple of months as we were able to figure out a new product to sell, which was what we're doing now. So now we've been doing business coaches for a while. So that's the story. I know I went on a little tangent, but that explains at least how I went to career business coach. I went from career coaching to business coaching, but I use career coaching as my niche because I was a career coach. I understand how our clients are feeling in that scenario. So, all right, let's see. A lot of I'm thinking of launching a clothing brand business on March. What pointers? Honestly, Taya, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I was part of a clothing brand. We sold hats. I don't have good advice. I failed. My learning lesson is have a niche. I don't think that LinkedIn is probably the platform for you. I don't feel confident to give you good advice that you should follow in that scenario. No, money. Move on. Let's move on. Uh, Vishal. Okay, I see many people who invest a lot of money in certifications and education, but don't think about investing in career coaching. How do you make awareness in a way that career coaching becomes an alternative to education or certification and come to people's mind when they're struggling in their career? Um, what I find really interesting, I think that's a really good point, is well, two things. You can here's the best way to justify career coaching when someone is looking for a job, which is like the the most common coaches that I work with is help people who help job seekers or career pivoters and so on, right? I don't quote me on this, but last time I saw the U.S. labor statistics says that it takes about 6 months to get a job in this economy, right? That people are on average searching for 6 months, right? Um, I would say that most career coaches that I work with will really takes about 4 months to help their clients get a job. So that means that by you working with a career coach, you're getting a job 2 months faster, right? To the speed. A lot of it is because you're avoiding the trial and error. A good career coach will give you the right strategy, tell you what to do. There's a lot of less mistakes that you make in the process. You're going to interview better. You're going to network better. You're going to negotiate better, and so on, right? So because of that, because of having someone who has your back and can guide you through that process, you're able to get a job 2 months faster. If you make, let's say, if I'm a job seeker and I was making $100,000 a year, or I want to make $100,000 a year, every month that goes by that I don't have a job, it cost me $8,333 roughly, right? So not working with a coach also has a price. The price is the money that is no longer coming into my bank account. So if a career coach can help you get a job at least 1 month faster, as long as the career coach is less than $8,000, you, my friend, are making money, and you're also going to help your mental health because you're going to feel supported and you're not going on this journey alone. So to me, that's the biggest selling point on why a career coach is just the speed of the market. It's also our biggest selling point on Opni, right? If you're a career coach and you're struggling to get made 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, $70,000 a month, every month that goes by that you're not making 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month, it's 20, 50, it's 20, $30,000 that you're losing. Working with us cuts you that speed. So that's the biggest thing I would tell you is education is life's real only shortcut. It's you're paying to learn from someone's trials and errors. And so that's the key. That is the issue there. And so that would be the thing. Now, if you are in a career and you are trying to become a leader or become a C-level executive, why should you hire an executive coach? It's the same thing. Like, you've never gone to the Olympics and have an Olympic athlete not have a coach. I've never, like, every time I hear all CEOs have coaches, right? So the higher you are in corporations, you have a coach. Why wouldn't you want to get that head start and get a coach earlier on? I think more than anything, it's not should you have a coach, but it's which coach should you hire? And to me, that's the hardest part. And I think that is the problem with career coaching as a whole, is that it's very fragmented and there's a lack of trust, and we're in this trust recession. And I think that's the biggest challenge, is because coaching has an amazing ROI. There's no better return on investment than investing in your personal development, better than the S&P 500, better than buying real estate, invest in yourself. The problem is that you just don't, there's a trust issue on who should be the right, like, would Daniel and his team be the right coaches? Will Stan be the right coach? And I think that's the issue. And I think people maybe have been burnt by bad with coaches. And I think a lot of times not necessarily also they're not the coach, but it's their level of execution. So that would be like the biggest thing there. In career coaching, not limiting in the long run as a professional path. I'm trying to, okay. In career coaching, not limiting in the long run as a professional path. I mean, it's not too, like, not limiting in the sense of, like, you think like that's too small of a business, or um Eleanor, like, what do you mean by that? Because I don't think, I think that is, there's going to be more job changes in the future than there has ever been. I think that more and more people are going to struggle like with their identity and figuring out, like, not being able to attach their identity to work because of how often they're going to have to change jobs or industries because of how things are going to be disrupted. So I actually think that it's not limiting whatsoever. I actually even think that not even within career coaching, you should niche, and we've seen that the better the niche that you can find, and actually the smaller sometimes the niche, the faster and less friction there is for you to be able to market and sell and even deliver a really great service. 15 years of dedicated. So when someone is traumatically laid off from a corporate job after 15 years of dedication to that company, how do you deal with the situation? Should they start a business, ship in their experience, or is it better to apply for another job vacancy? So Richard, to be honest, I think it depends on that individual itself, right? If they have 6 months of savings and they have conviction in their knowledge and they feel like they can package it and sell it, I think starting their business is going to be really great, and building a personal brand and selling that could be really good. But that's not for everyone. So to say this is a black and white answer I think that's wrong. I think at that point, that experience could also be very valuable for another company. And so I think probably for most people, going and working for someone else, working for another company can be good as well, right? I would say if I'm that person who's been in one company for 15 years and haven't had to really update my resume or network outside of my organization, I would 100% hire a career coach there, because I promise you, you're selling yourself short, because you've probably been taking for granted. Your confidence level is on the floor, but the reality is that you have so much. You're worth so much. You have 15 years. You've already shown some not only like experience, work experience that you have over 15 years of work experience there, but the fact that you were in one company for 15 years of loyalty dramatically lowers the risk of hiring for someone. And so you would be a really, really great candidate for working for somebody else as well. But if you've always wanted to start a business and you got a really good severance package because you've been for a company for 15 years and they decided to give you 2 weeks of pay for every years of service. So you got 30 weeks of pay, which is like the standard severance package in corporate, which means now you have about over 6 months to build this business and you have savings and maybe your significant other has a stable job. So it's not all dependent on you. I would say start a business, like shoot your shot and go for it. So I think it depends on the individual, but yeah. Lack of cost. Lack of speed costs time and money. Yep. Look, you're gonna pay for it no matter what. You're gonna pay the price either with time, your own time, or with money, or a combination of both, right? So it just depends on your situation and where it is. I think a lot about like social media and how you can grow to 1 million followers either by posting for a really, really long time, dedicated. Like Mr. Beast is a great example of posting so many videos before now he's gaining this like really huge effect. Or on the other side, you have people who just run ads and spend millions of dollars in ads and are able to build a personal brand through ads and promoting, and that still works too, right? So there's pros and cons on both, or you do a mix of both, right? So yeah, whether it's career coaching, business coaching, or just any goal in life, you either pay for it through time or money. Except there's one exception to that rule, and that's your fitness. My business partner in the gym that I invested in says to me all the time, there is no shortcuts in business. You can't pay someone to eat healthy for you. You can't pay someone to go to do that workout for you, because if somebody does that workout, they're the ones who gets the benefit. Now you can pay someone to cook for you, and you can pay somebody to come work out with you and hold you accountable. But I guess the shortcut there would be to go get plastic surgery or get lipo or something like that. But even then, if you don't change your habits, you're going to get it back. You're going to gain all that back. So, yep. What other questions you guys have? I feel like, I speak too fast. I need to just. Where, Marty? Simplest business model, a career coach. This is actually something we dive in so much in our Career Coaches Accelerator. So humble or hashtag plug here. It's a 3-month accelerator to help you get your first 3 high ticket clients, but I'll walk you through our formula and you can go implement this. So if you're just starting and you have limited time, money, and resources, what you want to do is first build a really good offer. And what I mean by offer is find a really, really good niche and do one-on-one coaching until they get a transformation. So I would say, depending on what your experience is, probably help your younger self accomplish what you have accomplished. So help somebody become a director, help somebody become a manager, or help somebody break into tech. Do a high ticket offer and do one-on-one until they get the results. So let's say I actually do a niche, like I'm trying to think of somebody that we recently are working with. Working with someone in the military who like who served for over 10 years, and a lot of the stuff for veterans to get jobs that are free are meant to be more for people who serve for like 4 to 6 years and they're getting those level entry jobs. So this particular person, we build an offer around helping like people in the military with a particular rank and up. I think it was a colonel and up, land very high paying private sector jobs, right? And it was a one-on-one service that he will work with them privately one-on-one until they get a job. So one niche, one offer, one avatar, and one marketing channel. That marketing channel that I would suggest you start with is LinkedIn, especially if you're selling to like a white collar professionals. There are on LinkedIn. So one. So niche, one offer, focus on transformation with a guarantee of working with them to get a job with a high ticket pricing. That's your offer. marketing channel, which is LinkedIn. Create content, post once a day, Monday through Friday. Anybody that likes, comments, and views your profile, start a conversation, and then work with them until they get a job. So 1-1-1-1. So that is the move. And I always say your first 3 clients are the hardest. If you can get 3 clients, you can get 30. If you get 30, you can get 100, right? Because 1 client can be luck, 2 is a trend, but 3 is a process. Yeah. What other questions do we see, Marty? What's the fastest way that a career coach can get clients without relying on ads? Well, first of all, I would not even think about running ads until you are doing at least $50,000 a month. And the reason why is because you have not proven your offer yet. And if you can't sell to organic LinkedIn traffic, you're not going to be able to sell to paid ads clients. It is in cold traffic. Like selling to cold traffic is a whole different monster, and paid ads is just tons of cold traffic. And so unless you're doing $50,000 a month, have sold, I would say at least 50 clients organically and have at least 10 testimonials, don't even consider ads. Like you will be throwing your money away, I promise you. You also need to be willing to invest for at least 3 to 6 months of putting $5,000 or more in ads every month for you to even crack the ads before it starts printing money. So with that being said, LinkedIn organic, like you literally post on LinkedIn and you post education or viral content once or twice a week, educational content once or twice a week. So let's say 2 viral, 2 educational, 1 call to action content. And then anybody that likes, comments, and views your profile that are in your target audience, send them a message, have a conversation, put them on a sales call, and sell them. That is the easiest way to get clients organically, is LinkedIn content that resonates with them. Educational content is going to be the why they will buy from you, by the way. It's not even going to be the viral. The viral content gets them into the funnel. The educational content is the middle and nurtures them. And then the call to action is what gets them to book a call or set up the sales calls with you. Yeah. Mer, I think that I've had this conversation with you a lot and before, right? I don't think that there is a lot of competition in the marketplace. To be honest with you, I think it seems that way because that's what your algorithm in the ecosystem that you're in sees. So you are seeing a lot of career coaches, and I just actually think that there's a need for career coaches, and so I think that you should do high ticket and you should charge anywhere between 3 to 10% of first year income. And that 3 to 10% just highly depends on your level of success stories, your level of one-on-ones, how long you've been doing this. So the way you minimize the risk, like the more successful and more success stories, the more you could charge. If you're starting out, start at 3% of first year salary. So if you're helping someone, you get a $50,000 job, charge $1,500 to start, to get conviction, and then go up from there. So I would actually say, going to a little tangent here. We're actually going to make a YouTube video on this topic. So if you're watching this, I don't know if you guys have heard of BetterHelp. And BetterHelp is, back in 2013 when it was started, what it did is that they saw an opportunity that therapy was very clinical, right? Was stigmatized, like it was stigmatized to go to therapy, and it was fragmented, right? And that's exactly how career coaching is today. And BetterHelp, the founder of BetterHelp, that was there until 2023. So he helped build the company. The company got acquired. He was the CEO for over 10 years. In 2023, left BetterHelp and started Strawberry.me. And so what's interesting is that this person, again, I don't know, I would love to interview him. So if somehow he watches this, we'll love to talk to you on the podcast. He saw the opportunity of why career coaching is about to explode. And now in America, because of BetterHelp, over 1.5 million people were introduced to therapy, and therapy is now normalized, right? And working with a therapist was normalized. Now, I think that's going to happen in career coaching. Is going to become normalized. I think strawberry.me is going to play a big role into that. People are going to be introduced into career coaching strawberry.me, and then there's going to be a percentage of them that are going to want to work with a more transformational offer, high ticket, more like VIP type of style, and that's going to just help a lot of people in the industry. So yeah. Eleanor said, "Do you think a coaching certification is necessary?" I don't think that it's necessary, especially if you have over 10 years of corporate experience. You've been a hiring manager, a recruiter. You've been in part of those decision making. I think that what those certifications do is that they teach you how to be a very good coach and hear and ask the right questions. And that's really good too. If you wanted to go work at strawberry.me or work in corporate like B2B, those certifications are going to be more needed because they're going to want you to have those certifications. But I know plenty of coaches who've built $1 million a year career coaching business without certifications. I am an example of not having a traditional career coaching certification. It's not needed. I recently thought about doing it more than anything because I want to understand what the career coaches that go through the certification go through. Short answer, you do not need it, but it's also not fair to say that everyone should not have one. I think that it really depends on your style. Do you need that to have conviction? Would it help you? I think it's only $3,000 to $5,000 to get. And I think you can get it in 3 months. So could you start your business and then get it? Yes. If you have aspirations to work B2B in corporate, I think are required. And I know that for strawberry.me, I do believe that those are needed as well. So, yep. Great question. Great questions. How does a coach? Somebody asked. I think it was, how does a coach know when it's time to raise prices? So, um, first, I would want to make sure that the value that you're delivering exceeds what you're charging, and so for me, that's why 3 to 5% is a really good. Now, there's some numbers like for example, if you're closing over 40% of your sales calls, then that's one of the like clearest signs that you need to increase prices. Um, but I also like to increase prices when we increase value, right? So price is what you pay, value is what you get. So I really like the idea of essentially increase, like if we're going to add tons of new features, we're going to add more support, we're going to like increase prices to then bring in even coaches with more experience that work at top companies in the industry that you're selling for. I'm all about increasing prices for doing that. So I think that's the key. But if you're struggling to sell, then I would not increase prices. Yeah. Unless like if you're selling low ticket and you can't close clients, odds are is your offer and your selling skill, not the pricing. You this is a limiting belief that people think that if you charge $1,500 or less, you're going to close more clients. I kid you not. A lot of times increasing the price to $3,000 will actually help you close more clients because people will be like, yeah, that's too good to be true. Odds are it's broken, right? Like if I were to sell you my Tesla for $1,000 and you know that it retails for $40,000 as an example, and I'm like, yeah, $1,000. You're probably, the first question in your head is, what's wrong with the Tesla? Like, why are you selling me this like $40,000 Tesla for $1,000? Right? What's wrong with the Tesla? Or the second question is, what's wrong with you, Daniel? Like, are you okay? Are you in trouble? You need money that bad? Like, what's going on? So it's the same thing. You'd be surprised how much pricing actually positions you as an authority or not, right? You lowering your prices and selling below $2,000, 9 times out of 10 actually like hurts you in closing more than anything. So I am 20 right now and working as a marketing intern, but I am interested in content creation and using AI in creative manner. In short, I want to do creative thinking, but now I'm confused. Quran, I don't even know what to. If you're like, if I'm in your shoes and I'm interested in building a career in marketing and maybe working with business owners or coaches that need help with marketing to like edit videos or create content for them, or be like a content strategist, I would say go do some free work for some coaches, do it for 1 or 2 months, and then uh, charge them and have them be your first client, and then do like a marketing agency. If that's the way that you're doing it. I also think that the riches are in the niches. Like I could give you guys an example of Miguel, who used to work for me a really long time ago. He was the one who helped write a lot of the LinkedIn content that you guys have saw. Like maybe this is probably like 3 years ago or more. And he now does ghostwriting for some really good coaches, some big coaches, some of our clients. And all he does is marketing. He started a company called Grit, and he does marketing for career coaches, right? That's a great niche, and he's doing really well, right? So again, I think that like anything, I think the riches are in the niches. Yeah. Good question, guys. What other questions you guys see? I am an industrial engineer with 7 years in manufacturing sector. I'm looking to get into product management roles. What is the best approach to be a standout? And Keith, this is exactly why I would not be able to be a career coach for this, because first of all, I haven't been an industrial engineer. You have more corporate experience than I do in a sense, because I was only at PepsiCo for 7 years, and I've never made a pivot from industrial engineer to product management. Now, what I would do is I would look at coaches that do that really well. Adam Broda, Josh Bob, um, are two that come to mind. I'm sure there's more. Uh, and I would talk to them. And I think it's worth investing with a good career coach to help you do that. Because again, like let's say that you're making $80,000 as an industrial engineer, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I think that if a career coach helps you go into product management and you're making 130, you paying $5,000 to $6,000 to work with a really, really good career coach will be one of the best decisions that you can make in your life. In terms of standing out, I think what we're seeing a lot our clients use is networking on LinkedIn, creating content about it, commenting on other people's posts that are working or subject matters in the industry, and then building some level of portfolios or things that you've done to show proof. But networking is going to be even more important in the future. Yeah. Karan said, I am working with decent big Indian brands, but I want to do something creative in the something creative. Well, could you do any creative work for them? Even if it's like a side project, or say, hey, I thought of this different creative things. I think if you already have some of those big brands, then it should be easier for you to get smaller brands that allow you to be more creative. So I think you're more than halfway there, man. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, questions are good. What other questions? Mari, you see any other? If I'm speaking to Mari, that's my producer. Um, yeah, being creative, something in my mind shifts towards making websites. Guys, so as more question, Karan, yeah, let me. And being creative means something in my mind. It shifts towards making websites, sometimes writing scripts, sometimes planning strategy. But at least I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect that I sell the services. Again, you don't have to start by charging a lot of money for it. I think there's a lot of people who don't have the money and who are willing to give you some amazing testimonials. So I think you can still do it. I think you can start. Like I don't overthink it as well. But you know what's really interesting in the last couple of months, been doing a lot of getting some of our coaches and clients or some out of sales calls and hiring sales people. And what's really cool is this past weekend, um, this past weekend, I flew to Chicago to work with one of our partner companies, Reno, and we wanted to take our salesperson who is crushing it this month. His closing rate is like super high, and we wanted to take him to dinner, and so they both live in Chicago, so we went to dinner. And what's interesting is how amazing it is to meet with people in person. Like you just connect at a different level. We went to dinner, and then the following day, Reno and I worked at a co-working space that he goes to all day, and we did a lot of 2026 planning, and then we went to a really nice steak dinner. But it does not replace going through it. And then after that, I got stuck in Chicago for 2 nights because of the winter storm. So if you guys were up north and you got all that snow, this Florida boy and Colombian boy, there's no snow in Medellin, there's no snow in Orlando, is not used to it whatsoever. Yeah, not so ever. How much time do you put into being a career coach? I think for you to build, if you're starting out and you're working full time, if you can allocate 15 to 20 hours a week, I think that's enough for you to get the momentum going and get to a point where you're doing $10,000 a month, right? And that would mean posting on LinkedIn once a day. That would mean spending about 1 to 2 hours a day doing lead gen. And then that would mean you taking 1 or 3 sales calls a week. And then that would mean the rest of your time working on strategy and working with your clients, like doing one-on-one calls with your clients. So once you do 15 to 20,000, 15, 10 to 15, 15 to 20 hours a week, you can get the business going. Once you get to the point where you're getting like 2 to 4 clients a month, at least charging $2,000, right? If not more, then I think that at that point you can hire a VA, and you can hire a VA to help you do some of the lead gen and then some of the administrative work. And then you, from that point, still working 20 hours a week, can grow the business a little bit to get more traction and eventually go full time. If you're doing this full time, then 40 hours a week, let's go. 50 hours a week, let's go. Right? Put more time into it. Um, that would be kind of the process that I would follow there. How do you make sales not too pitchy? This is a good question. I think that first of all is don't sell to people that are not in your niche, right? And only sell to people that are in your niche, and then you can truly help them do that. Once you do that, and they're on a sales call, I always say that the best um, that the best salespeople are doctors, right? Because you go to let's say you go to the emergency room, right? And the doctor says you need an X-ray. The doctor says you need an MRI. We need to do some blood work. We need to do all this. Those are all upsells, right? But the doctor's not doing it. We hope not, right? We hope not. The doctor's not doing it from a point of view like let's just make more money. Let's make more money. A doctor's saying this is what you need based on what I need. This is what you need to do in order for me to have the information to be able to solve your problem that you have now. And so when you can come about it from a point of view of I am a doctor and my job is to understand your problem, your systems, your situation, so that I can then prescribe to you a solution to solve that problem, I think that is the best way. And so if I can simplify that, you go in a sales call and you start by spending, if you have 1 hour, you're going to start by spending about 30 minutes to 40 minutes on discovery, probably about 30 minutes on discovery. And discovery is asking where they are today, where they want to be tomorrow. Where they are today, understand their pain. I'm looking for a job. How long have you been looking? Where have you applied? What's working? What's not working for you? What are you struggling with? I don't know. Like, where do you want to be tomorrow? What's your job title? Where do you want to earn? How much, like, like all this, where do you want to be tomorrow? And then if you truly can help them get from where they are today, where they want to be tomorrow, then you can then show them how you're going to help them cross the bridge successfully. I think that is the best way to do it, and come from a point of like genuinely, like that you truly have conviction that you can help them. If you don't think you can help them, don't sell them. Like just don't sell them, point them in the right direction. So that's our philosophy. It works extremely well. I think that what makes the difference between an okay salesperson and a great salesperson is not so much a discovery, but it's how you overcome objections. So if I can give you some tips on sales, is all objections that you're going to get in coaching, specifically career coaching, let's just stick with that, right? Are going to fall under one of 3 objections. You're going to have a money objection, which is going to be what feels like 99% of all objections. Like, I don't have money, it's too much money. You're going to have a logistic objections. Anything related to why I can't join your program or why I can't work with you is because of time. I need to talk to my wife. I need to think about it. I want to start in the summer when my kids are not in school. Whatever it is, it's a time issue, or it's a busy time for me right now. Let's start in February. So you have a logistics. And then lastly, the most important one, where I actually truly think 90+% of your objections are really at, and most people ignore, is belief. Belief in either yourself, like, hey, I just don't believe you, Daniel, and your team can help me achieve this goal, or believe in themselves, like, hey, I've already been applying for 3 months. I haven't gotten any interviews. My confidence is at the floor. I feel like I'm worthless. And so they have belief issues in themselves. And like, yes, you're successful. I just don't know if I'll be successful with you. It's a belief issue. Now, this is where the magic happens. Most people will tell you it's a money issue, but it really is a belief issue. So if you can be able to ask the right questions to get to the real objection, you're going to be able to answer. You're going to be able to really address that objections, right? And I think there was somebody actually here today that I had a sales call on Sunday because it was supposed to be yesterday, but I was flying yesterday because of the winter storms, and we went through that. I literally was like, hey, like, to me, it sounds like this is a belief issue because they already told me how much they were making. It's not a money issue. It's they have access to capital or they have the money. It's, do they believe that this investment is going to work? This investment in business coaching on my end or career coaching. This is an example. And so you need to be able to show them how you overcome that investment. So that's why we like to make sure the offer is great, because the offer does half of the selling for you. If you say it's $3,000 and I will work with you until you get a job, that's really strong. So at that point, it's either A, they just don't believe in you, or they don't believe in themselves. So we need to overcome that. So that's essentially how that would go. Georgetta, if you have any questions, let me know. But good question. Yep. Okay. Guys, we have like 4 minutes left. If you have any last minute questions, put it there. We can do some rapid answering. Uh, like I mentioned earlier before, if you're just tuning in now, this was meant to be more of for us to test the systems to go live. Our goal is to go live every Tuesday at 9 a.m. EST moving forward. We're going to be bringing in special guests. So next week, we're going to have Adam Broda and Reno Perry and myself. We're going to be doing a kind of more of an interview style conversation where we're going to be talking about what we're seeing in the trends in the market, job market, companies, what's going on in the career coaching industry in the space, best practices, and so on. So it'll be the three of us. And then in 3 weeks from now, we're going to also have my partners from the SaaS product that we're building, talk about AI tools for career coach, and same thing in technology and so on. So if you enjoy this, I promise you, Pinky promise you, this is only going to get better, right? We're only going to get better at this and bring in really great guests and topics and really work on this. I appreciate you guys coming here, the participations, the questions. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the support. And then shameless plug, if you are a career coach, and whether you're looking to start a career coaching business, we have the Career Coaches Accelerator, or you're already a career coach and maybe you feel like you're plateaued and you're stuck and you're want to get to the next level in your business and do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $80,000 a month in your career coaching business, let me know. Send me a DM. Let's have a conversation. We have two programs. We have the Career Coaches Accelerator, meant to help you get started and get your first 3 high-ticket clients. And then we have the Career Coaches Operating System, which we essentially work with you, one-on-one hybrid community, all for 1 year of support. By the time you're done, you will have a well-oiled business machine, systems and processes. You probably have hired your team, have very good, clear org chart. You have a scalable product. You have a marketing and sales operation, unlock everything. Awesome. But thank you guys so much. I didn't see any other questions come in. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes back of your time. Have an amazing day. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube. We're publishing new content on top of this podcast. We're going to new video coming out every single week. The last one we just did was on niching and the 80-10-10 rule. So if you haven't seen that already, what are you waiting for? Check it out. It's awesome. Give us feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.